over the weekend, we learned that Bill Maher met with Donald Trump at the White House. And in a very long, too long little monologue, Bill Maher told his audience what that meeting was like. And I want to just pick it apart for many reasons. But number one, you all know where I stand when it comes to Bill Maher, noted Islamophobe, noted centrist elitist who thinks the kids are too woke and thinks that things like stopping the war on Gaza is anti-Semitic. He loves throwing down with other elitists and also young new influencers in his weird ass Club Random podcast where he gets way too blazed for a 9-year-old man or however old he is. But Bill Maher told his audience about this visit that he had to the White House, and he said that he pushed back. He said some things because he disagrees with Trump largely. But I want to point out a few moments that really seal the deal with me when it comes to centrist, privileged people that I think we all should have our antennas going up for, because what they tend to do is they will meet with people, figures on the right, and or the president of the United States, and they will do it almost as an FU to the left or progressives or liberals generally, right? You see this with Piers Morgan, who's like, I'm basically a liberal, except for trans people are gross, like, and you see it with Bill Maher. And really the key to the way that these guys operate and the way they live their lives is that they only like you if you're nice to them. That's it. It's the barrier to entry is this person was nice to me. Ergo, everything that we're seeing playing out right now, all of the American gulags that are being created in El Salvador, in Louisiana, more Palestinians swept up, all that is besides the point, because in fact, at this one dinner, in this one evening, Donald Trump was very nice. And actually, the real enemy is anyone who wouldn't want us to come together to have a conversation.
Not the leader of anything, except maybe a contingent of centrist-minded people who think there's got to be a better way of running this country than hating each other every minute. So meet up in person. Maybe it'll be different. Spoiler alert, it was. A lot of people told me they loved it, but not all. And we agreed. The people who don't even want us to talk, we don't like you. Don't talk, as opposed to what? Writing the same editorial for the millionth time and making 25-hour speeches into the wind? Really, that's what liberals have? He takes the piss out of everybody else and we can hold ours? Okay, that's my report. You can hate me for it, but I'm not a liar. Trump was gracious and measured, and why he isn't that in other settings, I don't know, and I can't answer, and it's not my place to answer.
Why he isn't measured and gracious in other settings, I don't know. I don't have the answer, and it's not my place to answer. My guy, you do a weekly show on HBO all about critiquing American politics. This is the president. And it's not your place to answer or think about why he wasn't as gracious in front of you as he is, I don't know, with President Zelensky, who you made a joke about not wearing a suit. He's like, am I going to wear a suit? Well, I'm not going to do President Zelensky. Bill Maher would be hiding behind the first Ukrainian grandma he could find, where he'd have to survive a day in the shoes of President Zelensky. So let's just put that aside. But there you see, look, are you mad at me for talking? What else am I supposed to do? Okay, look, no one is mad about taking a meeting with Donald Trump. The problem is that meeting in and of itself is the point. It's a W for Trump to say, I spoke to a liberal. This is me extending the olive branch. And by virtue of the fact that you are getting that invitation should tell you a little bit of something about how adversarial you actually are. There's nothing wrong with meeting and giving him a true piece of your mind, right? I mean, I don't know. I guess would I meet with Donald Trump? Fuck no. Of course I wouldn't fucking meet with that. No. But what I'm saying is you need to be adversarial instead of what he is doing is taking the meeting and coming back and being like, see, the real problem isn't creating an American gulag. It isn't rounding up immigrants with legal status. It isn't rescinding $2 billion from Columbia University because they allowed freedom of speech on their campuses. The real problem is you out there who didn't even want me to talk to Donald Trump. Well, get what? F you. It's the same thing that Tommy Lahren used to say, where she was like, you can agree with me or you can hate me, but I'm having the conversation. Yeah, you're having the conversation about like how Beyonce is a Black Panther. Like you're having like, and how like it's terrorism. Like you understand the kind of conversation you're having. You're having a conversation about why you should be a second-class citizen. So like, it's just when elites say, this person was nice to me, that's when they like it. Now, here's some of the substance about what they did talk about, right? Because actually, Bill Maher apparently did push back on the Iran agreement. But then listen how he descends into all of the things that he actually does agree with Trump on. And we'll talk about how dangerous this is.
He was asking me about the nuclear situation in Iran in a very genuine, hey, I think you're a smart guy, I want your opinion sort of way. And I said, well, obviously you're privy to things about it, I'm not, but for what it's worth, I thought the Obama deal was worth letting play out because we made Iran destroy 98% of the uranium and they were 15 years away from a bomb. And then I said to him, but we got rid of that. You got rid of that. He didn't get mad or call me a left-wing lunatic. He took it in. I told him I thought parts of his plan for Gaza were wacky, but that I had supported him in the idea that Gaza could be Dubai instead of hell. I told him he was wrong when he tweeted the night before that I was critical of all things Trump. Not true. Check the tapes. Moving Israel's embassy to Jerusalem, loved it. The border did need to be controlled. I'm glad the cops are getting their morale back. DEI had gone too far. Biological men shouldn't be playing women's sports. Europe should pay for their defense. And of course, it makes sense that Arab countries should take in Arab refugees, like the million Syrians who wound up in Germany when Saudi Arabia took none. He said to me, you're right, they took none.
Okay. So this is so perfect how he was like, I think some of your plans for Gaza are wacky, but I do think it could be Dubai. Okay, so what part of his plans are wacky? And also, is that how you describe genocide, ethnic cleansing? Wacky? Forcible removal, bombing children in hospitals, taking out the last doctors, or zip tying medics and executing them? Is that wacky? That's a good, fun word. Oh, we're doing a comedy show now. It's wacky. So then he's like, well, I pushed back on the Iran deal. I thought it was good. And you took us. Okay, good for you. Good for you, Bill. Then he proceeds to basically hook, line, and sinker everything else. DEI had gone too far. We are paying for too much for Europe. I liked the move from the embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. All of these things. But I mean, all he is, I mean, let's be real, like he's to the right of Joe Biden. That's all that is. That is Joe Biden plus Piers Morgan. That's all this elitist is. And so I think we need to understand like this whole idea that we can come together and find agreement. No, man, this guy's already 75% on board with what Donald Trump is doing. And he has the audacity to call himself a liberal while he says biological men should just say cis men. Like, or I mean, I guess you can't say cis men because then you'd have to admit that actually they're trans women, whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, he can't go that far. And the last thing I'll say, and this was so amazing, that there was a moment I was like, oh, wow, is this real? He said, you know, he told Donald Trump that, you know, you're kind of scaring people. And I was like, oh, I'm glad he told Donald Trump that. And here's what Trump said, or what Bill Maher said he said.
At one point, I said to him, you're scaring people. Do you really want to be scaring your own citizens so much? And I know now you're all saying, and what did he say to that? Honestly, I don't remember.
I mean, I don't remember, whatever. You're scaring citizens. But anyway, more about this fish. I love it. Is it fillet? Oh, wow. Amazing. You don't remember what he said back to you? Why the fuck did you even say anything? Why are you even telling us about it? You were too distracted by the sycophantry to even remember what he said back to you. So again, all of this is so pathetic. We've known it's pathetic. It's basically like Mika and Joe Brzezinski being honest about their meeting, right? Which is like, well, actually, we do think that woke has gone too far, you know, like just shut up about it. You're not countercultural. You're not subversive. You're not politically relevant. You're an elitist boomer and you're so fucking cringe. I'm tired of this guy. I'm tired of these folks who can say we can meet in the middle. They would take a meeting with Donald Trump. Meanwhile, people are being swept up off the streets. You know who you are. You know who I'm talking about. There's a lot of them to go around. And sadly, they have a lot of prominent positions in alternative media, mainstream media. Bill Maher still has his goddamn job. This guy can't do one thing. You should have gotten thrown out of that dinner. You should have been thrown out. If you actually want to take that meeting, you actually want to get it under his skin, you would get thrown out of the meeting. Instead, you're doing this in order to say, look, you crazy libs can't even sit down with Hitler. Wow. You know what I mean? Wow. Okay. I heard him out. I gave him a chance. I'm a hero. I'm going to get a very cushy spot in the gulag, okay? I'm going to get all the cigs I want, all right? Just you're going to come asking. You're going to come asking for them. And I'm going to be like, no.
What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/bitchuation room. Do it.